The world is full of people who want to bring a Sigma male down. There's no one who wants to see the downfall of a Sigma male more than a woman. Women have been testing men since the dawn of time. But when it comes to Sigma males, they have to get a little more creative because the usual tricks just don't work. These men are naturally observant and can spot games from miles away, which only makes women more eager to figure them out. Now, Sigma males aren't immune to these tests. They're still human, but they tend to handle things differently than most men. While others might panic, chase, or feel the need to prove something, Sigma males usually flip the script in subtle ways. That doesn't mean they always get it right, but their reactions are more calculated, less emotional, and that either frustrates women or pulls them in even deeper. So here are 5 ways women secretly try to break a Sigma male. 1. She uses guilt to test his boundaries. The first test is often a subtle one, almost invisible to anyone except the man being tested. It's the moment when a woman lets slip little things that tug at his heartstrings. Comment about past mistakes, an innocent mention of needing help, or even a casual joke that lands just a bit too close to a sore spot. Women who have tested many men before know where the weak spots lie. And with Sigmas, they often target his sense of duty, loyalty, or compassion. For example, she might casually complain about a flat tire on her way to a date with him, knowing full well that he's the one who will end up changing the tire. Or she may mention her mother's illness without mentioning that she's actually going to the hospital for a checkup. The interesting thing about Sigma males is that they're not cold-hearted individuals. They have empathy and understanding, but they also have firm boundaries. What makes them different is how they navigate this tug-of-war between emotions and boundaries. Instead of letting their empathetic nature run the show, they take a step back to observe and analyze. They think about the pattern of behavior and the underlying motives behind the requests. Once they've weighed out the situation, they respond with clarity, sometimes even surprising the woman with a level of self-awareness that catches her off guard. Their response isn't rooted in anger or resentment, but in a calm, matter-of-fact realization that they shouldn't be taken advantage of. It's a response that may leave the woman feeling seen through, causing her to adjust her tactics or even rethink her strategy altogether. 2. She tests his loyalty with late nights. One of the most common games a woman plays to test a Sigma male is the late night test. This is when a woman who has been seeing a Sigma male regularly suddenly finds herself spending more nights out with friends or work, often late into the night. It's during these times that she would typically be with him, but instead she's out testing his loyalty. The Sigma male, however, sees this for what it is, a test. He understands that this isn't about a sudden surge in socializing, but a strategic move to gauge his reaction. Instead of panicking or getting angry, the Sigma male stays calm. He doesn't bombard her with texts, asking where she is, or demand to know who she's with. Rather, he carries on with his own life. He goes about his routines, hobbies, or even spends time with friends, showing her that he has a life of his own. When she returns, he's ready to talk, not in an accusatory manner, but in a way that shows he's interested in her explanation. He might even joke about how he thought she was ghosting him, keeping things lighthearted. This response confuses the woman because she's used to men reacting with jealousy or anger. And when she sees that the Sigma male is taking it in stride, it makes her question her tactics. It's a test she's used to pass with flying colors, but with Sigma males, their laid-back confidence often foils her plans. 3. She challenges him with a debate to measure his ego. Another tactic women use to test Sigma males is by purposely engaging them in debates on neutral topics. These debates aren't about winning or losing an argument, but rather a means to measure the Sigma male's ego. The woman wants to see if he takes the bait, gets overly defensive or dismissive, ultimately revealing a need for external validation. To a woman who is accustomed to dealing with ego-driven men, this is a clear sign of insecurity. However, Sigma males are different. They don't shy away from debates. In fact, they welcome them as opportunities to learn and grow. They see discussions as a chance to share their perspectives and explore different viewpoints rather than a platform to put others down. This approach stems from their independent and confident nature. They don't seek approval from others to validate their own beliefs, so they don't feel threatened by differing opinions. When faced with a debate, a Sigma male will engage in a respectful and thoughtful manner. They will listen to the other person's arguments, considering their points before responding. They back up their own views with valid reasoning and examples, demonstrating a maturity and depth that surprises the woman. This response is exactly what trips up the woman who is used to dealing with men whose egos crumble under scrutiny. When she sees a Sigma male thriving in a challenging environment, it makes her question her own strategies and even admire his resilience. For she pulls away to gauge his reaction. One of the most prevalent tactics a woman uses to test a Sigma male is the pull-away method. This is when a woman who has been giving a Sigma male attention suddenly changes course, pulling away to observe his reaction. This approach is based on the idea that most men become overly attached quickly, and when that attachment is suddenly disrupted, they panic. A man driven by ego might become angry, lashing out or trying to force the woman back into engagement. But Sigma males are different. When a woman pulls away, a Sigma male doesn't panic. Instead, he remains calm and carries on with his life. He doesn't reach out constantly to try to win her back, nor does he let his emotions get the best of him, leading to outbursts or accusations. Rather, he focuses on himself, dedicating his time and energy to his own interests and responsibilities. When the woman pulls away, it doesn't faze him because he's secure in his own sense of self-worth. This response confounds the woman who's accustomed to men reacting negatively to rejection. When she sees a Sigma male maintaining his composure and prioritizing his own life, it makes her reconsider her approach and often makes her actions backfire. 5. She praises him excessively to check for narcissism. The excessive praise test is another tactic women employ to evaluate a Sigma male. It's a method designed to uncover any narcissistic tendencies by gauging his reaction to overly flattering comments. By showering him with praise, the woman essentially wants to see if he takes the bait, basking in the attention, or possibly becoming defensive. She's looking for signs of vanity or egotism that might indicate a potential issue. However, Sigma males are less susceptible to this test. When faced with excessive praise, a Sigma male doesn't become inflated with ego. Instead, he might appear slightly uncomfortable. He understands that consistent excessive praise isn't natural and could be insincere. His discerning nature kicks in, prompting him to assess the situation. He observes the person giving the praise, looking for any indication of ulterior motives. In most cases, he'll politely acknowledge the compliment without taking it to heart. This response is puzzling to the woman who is used to men either reveling in the praise or displaying defensiveness. When she sees a Sigma male maintaining his grounded nature amidst excessive flattery, it makes her rethink her assessment and often leads to an entirely new dynamic in their interactions. They can tell when she's trying to flatter them and they won't take the bait. This throws women off because they're used to men eating up compliments. When they see a Sigma male not being fazed by flattery, it makes them question their approach and wonder if maybe they're dealing with someone different.